What is up guys, Taiki here, and in this video I'll be going over the Great Rotation, why I recently rotated my entire Avalanche position into Fantom. If you like the content, please like and subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below, so let's get started. Okay, so I've been covering Avalanche and Avalanche Rush for almost 2 months now. I started covering it roughly $16 and now it's 4 to 5x, right? And it's been a good trade, but you know, I think it's fair to say that Avalanche Rush has been a disappointment, right? Not only did they delay the launch, but when the Avalanche Rush did come out, the rates were pretty bad, right? If you're new to farming, right, the rates might have seemed good, but as a seasoned veteran farmer, the rates were just not good, right? And Kevin, who is the COO of AvaLabs, recognized this, and he was like, okay guys, like I'm working on it. And this meme, right, this meme is spot on, where all of crypto Twitter, all of CT was like slapping Kevin, like, don't come back until those APYs are fixed, right? Just don't come back, stop tweeting, just get to work. And his justification was like, yes, like the rates are low, right? I get it, right? But I guess they were targeting a lower TVL, right? I guess they had lower expectations or something, and they wanted to, you know, they would rather start low. They would rather like have low rewards and then increase it, rather than have high rewards and then decrease it, right? I don't have to know any scenario where they would do that, other than like when if no one bridged over, but. This was the case, and you know, AvaLabs, they had their own plan in mind, and I don't think they really took into account potential competition that could come into the scene. So speaking of which, what was the competition, right? And this thing launched on October 6th, right? And this was kind of like, it wasn't really a surprise launch, but there wasn't really much hype around it. I knew about this on Monday, that's why I was able to like, you know, keep an eye on this, but this was a money market. It's an Aave fork, and it was like actually backed by the foundation, right? So they're going to receive FTM rewards, and Michael Chen, ex-CMO of the Fantom Foundation, has committed to personally offering FTM incentives to the Geist pool. So I'm like, okay, like this is cool, but we'll see it like when it comes out. And if you go to the website right now, this thing launched on Wednesday, and it already has 11 billion in TVL. Now, this isn't real TVL because, you know, a lot of people, they're just like depositing assets on the left side, borrowing, let's say I'm like, you know, borrow, deposit ETH, borrow stable coins, right? And then redeposit those stable coins because you're being paid an insane amount to borrow, right? So there's a lot of people doing that. So I think the real TVL is like roughly 34 billion, but you know, regardless, this is super strong. It's great for the narrative, and these rewards are crazy, and people are bridging over. The bridge is congested, and there's a lot of demand to come over to the Fantom ecosystem, because I mean, that's what I've done. When I woke up on Wednesday, right, when they launched, I saw this, right? I'm like, what is going on here, right? Like literally in a couple hours, they locked in 300 million in TVL and reaching triple to quadruple digit yields. Like I'm like, okay, like I have to rotate, right? Because you know, I was in Avalanche Aave at the time, right? And the rewards were like 2% or something. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit around on Aave, on Avalanche, hoping for Avalanche Labs to like boost my rewards. No, I'm gonna just bridge over because these rates are much better, right? That's kind of like how my mind works, right? I'm not really loyal to ecosystems. I'm just loyal to making money. And what people don't understand that, yes, like these rewards, they're gonna get diluted. I don't really know how the price of Geist has maintained itself. I mean, there's like some lockup and stuff, but you know, it is what it is, and I'm sure these yields get diluted. However, they're gonna get additional FTM rewards, right? So it's gonna be really, really difficult for Aave to compete with a new money market with their own token that has additional FTM rewards. So, you know, when they saw this, I think when AvaLabs saw this, they panicked, right? They're like, oh my God, like people are bridging out. Bridge outflows are higher than bridge inflows. We have to boost rewards. Luigi, press the damn button. Let's boost the rewards. And that is what they did. On the 7th, a day after Geist came out, right? And a lot of people left Avalanche for Fantom. They boosted rewards. And, you know, now these rewards are good, right? I mean, these rewards are good. Like, I'm not going to complain. However, the question is, like, are people going to bridge over, right? That's the main question. Because me personally, like, I left when the rewards were bad. And now that I'm on Fantom, now that I have comfy positions, I have some locked up, I have some farming, I'm not really incentivized to bridge back to Avalanche. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel the same way. I think Avalanche Labs, they should have done this in the first place, right? Hindsight is 2020. And yes, like, you know, this Geist coming out was kind of a surprise. But, you know, they did announce this in like early October. So, you know, if they did their, I guess, competitive landscape, competitive analysis, they should have taken into account the potential that Fantom could have stolen their thunder. So I think they should have like boosted rewards in the first place, just because like people were disappointed with like the delays and whatnot. And that's not to say the rewards are bad. I mean, these rewards are amazing, right? 50% on dollars on Curve, 67% plus on the Track Crypto pool, right? This is an amazing pool. And if you're new to like farming, I mean, I would still recommend you watch my previous videos on like how to farm on Avalanche, because you can use Bitcoin as collateral, borrow dollars against it, put it into here, earn 50%, and you're earning like 20 to 30% yield on your Bitcoin, right? And I mean, that's the power of DeFi and the power of these incentive programs. Both Fantom and Avalanche, they're fighting for your money. So the real winner, I think, is, I feel like people pick winners like, oh, I think Fantom's going to flip Avalanche. No, Avalanche is going to maintain its market share. I don't think like that. And to be honest, I don't really care what happens. Like, me, I'm a farmer. I'm just going to collect the yields and move on. Because I'm not like a eternal Avalanche bag holder. I'm not an eternal Fantom bag holder, right? I'm just gonna like ride these trends, rotate when I think the rotation has played out, and just collect the yield, try to be a profit maxi, and then protect myself to the downside and whatnot. So that being said, let's kind of go over a presentation that I prepared that kind of goes over like my mentality. And I know some people might get upset that I'm like rotating to Avalanche, rotating away from Avalanche, but I need to make money because I'm a yield and profit maxi, not an ecosystem maxi. I go where the yields are because that's where everyone else will go as well. And you never want to marry your bags. And I know psychologically it's hard to not marry your bags, right? Like, to be honest, like when I held AVAX, like I wanted it to go up, right? And I wanted AVAX to go up more than any other token because I held a bunch of AVAX. But the market doesn't care what I think. The market is going to do what it's going to do. And ultimately, the way I think about it is like, I have a pug, right? I love him to death. He gives me so much joy. But he has skin issues, right? Look at him. Like his skin is so red and he looks kind of sad. Well, I guess all pugs look kind of sad. But, that's besides the point. But, like, bag holding, marrying my bags, isn't going to pay for his allergy shots, isn't going to pay for his like vet visits. It's not going to pay for his like food and like vitamins, like all of that, right? And like allergy, like Allegra, right? You can actually give dogs Allegra. I didn't know that. So when I think about him, I'm like, you know what? Like I need to put myself in the most likely position to succeed. And like just don't marry my bags. Don't marry my bags. And this video is not a bearish Avalanche video, right? Avalanche is still a great ecosystem. In fact, in terms of like risk, if you take into account risk, right, risk adjusted returns, I feel like if you're farming with Bitcoin, Ether, stablecoins, I feel like Avalanche is still the best place to be, right? Because Geist, yes, it has more TVL, but it's still like not battle tested per se. There are reasons to believe that it's not going to get exploited and whatnot, but it's. If I were to enter a coma, I would rather put my funds into Aave for a year than on Geist, because Geist just came out like a couple of days ago. And I think if you want riskier farms, that's going to be on Fantom for higher beta plays. And I'm not saying you should do you should do like all in one or not anything at all. Like, I just like kind of went in hard on Fantom because when I rotated, the rates on Aave was like not good. But now that the rates are good, maybe if you're risk averse, you can do like 80% Avalanche, 20% Fantom, or like 50-50, whatever, right? There's nothing wrong with like, rotating into ecosystems because, do you owe anything to AvaLabs, and does AvaLabs owe anything to you, right? Because they're just trying to build out their ecosystem, and you should just do what's best for your portfolio. None of this is financial advice, of course, but that's kind of how I think about it. Because I feel like I've been talking about Fantom for a couple weeks now, right, on my channel. And one of the reasons is that like this is like last week, right? 3 billion market cap, it's under the market cap of like Near and Hedera Hashgraph. And I mean, Near maxis don't come after me, but like come on, like that's ridiculous. Now, like some hope is being restored, and now it's about to flip Thesis. And if you think you're late on Fantom, just understand that like Fantom has a lower market cap than Thesis. Just let that settle in. To be honest, like Fantom ecosystem plays, I think a lot of them has played out, right? I mean, look at this. This thing is up, like this thing's 2x in the past week. But I still think there are really good opportunities out there. I think Geist is a good one, and I think there's gonna be a lot of good like stablecoin farms, Bitcoin need farms, and like both Avalanche and Fantom, there's gonna give us the money, right? So as long as you're a farmer, as long as you're not taking too much risk, like we're all in a position to succeed. And this was me on Wednesday morning on the private Discord. I'm like, oh my god, I did not see this coming. It's time to rotate. And in terms of safety, there has been I think this is happening tomorrow actually. There's gonna be a multi-sig with these 5 individuals. Essentially, how a multi-sig works is that if they want to implement changes to the smart contract, right, they have to get approval from 3 out of 5 people, right? So it's not just that the Geist team has ability to like change anything like based on like their personal like self gain or whatever. This is a pretty good multi-sig, and I feel comfortable putting my funds into it. And I feel comfortable that I mean, it's not just that I feel comfortable. It's just that you have to think about, would the market feel comfortable, right? Would the market ape billions of dollars into Geist? And when I saw this, my answer was yes. So in terms of rotations, I've been talking about Fantom for a couple weeks now. I didn't expect this to happen this fast, but when the facts change, you have to be able to adapt to the markets. In Q3, if you put a gun to my head and asked me like, hey, like when do you think the Fantom rotation will happen? I would have said like November, right? November, December. And I was positioning myself for that by like rotating the Fantom in September, locking up some of my tokens for 2 months, anticipating like this November rotation. And I feel like the best alpha that I can give to you is the humble farmer thesis, right? I made this video in July, and this applies today. Essentially, like if you like the humble farmer thesis says that like if you're a farmer, you want to go where the money markets are, right? Because money markets bring in liquidity, and liquidity brings to the farms. So in Q2, I aped Polygon because that's where the money markets are, and I made money. Q3, I aped Luna and Avalanche because that's where the money markets were, and I made money. And now I'm rotating into Fantom because, hey, surprise money market launch, let's go in. And July 16th, I actually made this video where I was kind of bearish Fantom, just because I said, you know what, like they're interesting, but I'm not going to worry about it too much just because there's no money market. So this is a way for me to, I guess, like cloud the noise, right? Because there's so many things happening in crypto that if I don't have a system in place to, like focus my attention on particular ecosystems, then I'm just gonna like FOMO into things and like not catch these rotations. But my system is, I see money market, I go in, right? It's pretty simple. And anyone that's been following me for a couple months already know this, and hopefully you partially rotated or something. And the way I see it, I think Avalanche repriced in anticipation of money markets, right? Because Aave is coming, let's all ape in, right? Let's front run the money. And Fantom right now is being repriced after the surprise launch of a legitimate money market. It's not really a surprise, but it wasn't really hyped up, right? Because I feel like AvaLabs, their strategy is to like hype it up, right? Like, oh, the rush is coming, rush is coming, rush is coming. But Fantom Foundation, they're like, okay, we're gonna launch. We'll see if people come in, right? And I feel like they put less emphasis on like hype and marketing compared to AvaLabs. So I feel like that was part of the alpha too. So in terms of what I've done, on the 5th, I sold all my AVAX for Bitcoin because I'm super bullish Bitcoin, right? I feel comfortable like being like a semi Bitcoin maxi in Q4. I think Bitcoin's poised for pretty good gains, and I mentioned in my video for like farming on an Aave that like you can be paid to bridge, right? So I can be denominated in Bitcoin, borrow stablecoins, bridge to Fantom, and farm there, right? And that's kind of what I did, and it's worked out well for me so far. And then yesterday, or on Wednesday actually, Geist launched. I'm like, okay, like this is the next rotation. I have to rotate. So I added to my positions. I feel like markets are being more efficient over time because when Polygon launched with Aave, like no one cared, right? And there was an easy rotation. When Avalanche happened, everyone knew about it, and it repriced in like a week. Now Fantom is being repriced in like 2 days. So don't assume that the markets will always remain inefficient. The markets are still inefficient, but it's becoming less inefficient over time. So you have to have alpha. You have to be quick. You have to be able to adapt with the markets. Because if you're complacent and you're not improving, if you don't have a growth mindset, then you're not going to make it in crypto, right? You're not going to make it in life in general. And I do want to say that this 370 million Fantom Incentive Program is now worth more than Avalanche Rush, right? And Avalanche Rush at current prices is like a $630 million program, I believe. But right now, this is going to be like an $800 million program, right? And Fantom is still under the market cap of Avalanche, so maybe that's more catalysts to come. And how these rewards are going to be distributed is essentially a protocol has to prove to the Fantom Foundation that they can get TVL and sustain TVL. And if they can sustain TVL, they're going to get FTM rewards, etc. And the devs are going to get it, and the devs can decide what to do with it, right? They can give it away to users, or they can keep it to themselves and like, give themselves a payday and whatnot. So, their incentive program rewards projects that can lock and sustain TVL, so assume that most apps with high TVL will receive awards. So this is kind of the difference between Avalanche Rush and the Fantom incentive program. Avalanche Rush, they kind of focused on bringing on Ethereum-based projects, giving them money to bridge over, whereas Fantom, they're incentivizing new apps to develop, right? They're incentivizing developers to build on Fantom, which I think is a more bullish way to do it in the longer term. I think more ecosystems will do it this way in the future, right? I'm just like guessing though. I don't know. Like as a farmer, I'm just gonna rotate, right? And it's like in all honesty, like these ecosystem plays have run so much that to be honest, I don't know if I can suggest them to be good buys. Not financial advice, of course. But this was Liquid Driver was something I got in late September. I locked it in for 2 months, right? And I'm like, you know what, like Thanksgiving, hopefully, like I'm a happy man. But like a couple days, like a week after, this thing like 6x. Like I'm like, what? So now I'm kind of sad I locked it up because now my bags are illiquid. So I feel comfortable talking about this because my bag, it's like my tokens are locked for 2 months. So I'm not gonna sell this anytime soon. But I mean, when they do unlock, I'm probably gonna sell them. But like these repricings happen really, really fast. And I don't think people need to FOMO, right? There's no need to FOMO. Just remain humble. Just understand what happened and, make a decision for yourself. Fantom is still under the market cap of Thesis. Is it a good buy? It's up to you. And yeah, I mean, the chart looks vertical, right? And essentially all ecosystem plays look like this. And to be honest, like I'm not really good at trading these coins when they're just like giga chatting. So, just always do your own research. Don't FOMO. Be a humble farmer. If you're farming with Bitcoin, either stable coins, you're going to be killing it. You're going to be killing it because anywhere you go, you're going to get free rewards, right? So FTMAlerts, I want to give him a shout out again. I had him on my channel early September, and I mean, he's had so much alpha on his channel. Like if you're not following him, then like I feel like every month there's like a new source of alpha. I feel like October, the source of alpha is going to be him. I'm going to try to have him on my channel next week to discuss the ecosystem again because so much has happened. But essentially the reason he's so like there's so much alpha is because he's kind of like the gang leader. He's like the ringleader of Fantom, right? He has like 50,000 followers on Twitter. He has his YouTube channel. He has his whole gang. He's like an OG. And because he has a social media presence, every Fantom project that launches kind of has to go through him to gain his approval, right? And then he says to his community, all right, I talked to the team, they doxed themselves to me, I like them, and then everyone's like, yeah, let's support them, right? That's kind of how things have worked in the past couple of weeks. So make sure to subscribe to him. This is going to be your biggest source of alpha for Fantom because he gets the news way earlier than I do, right? So there's that. And in terms of data that I want to go over, it's going over bridging data, right? Because I've often mentioned that bridging data is the most important data when it comes to these ecosystem rotation plays. Because if people are bridging out, then like hope is not a strategy, right? You shouldn't just hope for people to come back. You should like see like what the trend is. And the biggest warning sign for me was when Avalanche Rush came out, like it was a net outflow day, right? This was supposed to be like the most bullish thing ever, but people bridged out. People were disappointed. And even in the next couple of days, like the bridging hasn't been that impressive. Today it's up a lot, and I'm sure more people will bridge into Avalanche, right? I'm not bearish Avalanche, right? I'm just like more bullish Fantom than Avalanche. That's like my mindset. And the reason being, let's look at the Fantom bridging tracker, because I've never seen anything like this before. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this candle. Like 2.2 billion yesterday inflows. Essentially no outflows. Look at that. Look at this candle, right? This candle is so big that it's not a candle, it's a bar. This bar is so big that anything on the left, it like looks like nothing, right? This is what you wanted to see for Avalanche Rush. This is what you want to see when you're, like rotating. And like I'm not gonna battle. I'm not gonna fight the trend, right? I mean, the bridge is still congested. Like on the 6th, like people couldn't bridge. On the 7th, people couldn't bridge, and today, hopefully, people can bridge. But there's a lot of demand. There's a lot of demand to bridge over to Fantom, just because of these incentive programs, because of Geist stuff like this. So that's what I've been doing. I'm a rotator. I rotated my Avalanche into Bitcoin. I rotated it into Fantom, and I took some profits on Fantom recently, just because I wanted to buy more Bitcoin, right? So I made like 60% in like 2 days. So I just took those profits, rotated it into Bitcoin. Just staking it here, earning like 9%. I'm just like pretty comfy, sitting comfy. So that's what I've been doing. So thank you guys for watching. Hope this video was useful in understanding how I think about the markets, how I try to farm in these crypto markets. And if you're interested in getting daily updates on what I'm doing, private videos. I make videos Tuesdays and Thursdays for my private group. So if you want those content, then the private Discord link is in the description below. We have a pretty good community. We're like always trying to help each other. So there's that. Thank you guys for watching, and have fun farming out there and be safe, right? And don't try to pick winners. You're the winner because you're the farmer. And these ecosystems, they're fighting for your liquidity. So wherever you bridge, they're gonna give you money. So yeah, have a good one. Bye.